Good afternoon, kayaking archer here. It's a Sunday afternoon. I'm standing outside. I'm trying to give my arms a break between physical therapy exercises, shooting outdoors. Yesterday I shot a couple rounds at my local archery club. Kayaking, yeah, I need to give my arms a break today. So, thought I'd stand outside here and try to put a new 40cm target on that target butt over there, if I can get out of the wrapper. It's a, there's only one in here. It's a tough target. Archery targets. 40cm tough target. Yeah. Pretty plasticky. So I'll go over here and put it on, and then we'll talk. On a serious basis, or maybe even recreationally. I've been doing this, 8 years now, since the fall of 2015. And these are things I've learned over those years. The first challenge, I would say, is money. So let me write this down. I'm going to use my tablet. But I'm old school. So we're going to go with money. Okay? Then we're going to go with time. Because after you've spent the money, you have to have time to use what you've bought and spent your money on. And then we're going to talk about age/body issues. Those are the main three that I can think of right now. Chalk, pencil, eraser. Yeah. So, let's flip this over. And, okay. For money. First thing you're going to discover when you go try to get into archery, you're going to have to find your equipment. You're either going to have to buy it online, or you're going to have to go to a local shop. Now what I did was I went to a local shop, because I have this thing about ordering everything online. Really didn't know what I was getting into. I walked into the shop. Turns out, early September, that's the height of the getting ready for fall hunting season. But he was very nice. We quickly discovered the only bow that I could pull in his whole collection was the Easton Beginner's Recurve Kit. So that's what I ended up with. Well, that was I think it was $119, or it was $100 at least. And I asked the guy, I said, do you think I'll outgrow this? Because I said I have a habit of, really getting into something. I don't do it halfway. Oh, you can use that for a long time. Well, I outgrew it within a matter of weeks, but it's still a good bow. I use it for rehab, like when I had this setback beginning of February, I ended up using it a lot. So, yeah, your first issue with money is going to be equipment. So you're talking bucks, major bucks. Now, there is some truth to the fact that there is something for every price range, for every budget. And it's not necessarily the equipment that makes the archer. Let's just make that clear. But it does come to a point where if you get a plastic riser and you're trying to go places, you're eventually going to have to move up to a better riser, which means better limbs. And I'm Olympic recurve. So I'm not even talking about compound and crossbow. Oh my gosh, that's a whole nother level. But yeah, I mean, you can spend $800 on a riser and then $800 on a set of limbs. That's top of the line stuff. So you're talking major bucks. So you got your equipment that you've got to think about. Sometimes you can get things on used market, but that's kind of dicey. So you've got your equipment. Then you've got to have some place to shoot, something to shoot at. So you need a target. Okay, you need a bail of some sort. So that's money. Then the other thing that you're going to need to get, I guess you could put that under equipment, that you're going to need to consider for money is range access. Range fees. I would say most ranges charge between $10 and $20 per hour. Now, most ranges that I've been at, you come in and you pay that first fee. Most of them don't start charging you for every hour after that first hour. Yeah, it just depends. The 4 that I've used, most of them go with that. You know, you walk in the door, you pay the 1 range fee, and then you can shoot for an hour or 2. So yeah, during winter, if you're in, you know, I'm in the Midwest, the upper Midwest, Great Lakes area. During winter, when it's the coldest part of the winter, you can't shoot out in your backyard. It's just, nah. So you're going to be reliant on going to those ranges. So yeah, you're going to have to count on the range fee and the gas to get to the range fee, you know, the ranges. So yeah, that's one thing that you're really going to have to think about. The other thing that you're going to have to think about, if you really get into archery and you're enjoying it and you start getting that competitive itch, you're going to have tournament fees. Now some of them are $45 to get into, and some of them are several hundred. If you go to any of the USAT events, the USA Archery Team events, like the Buckeye Classic or US Nationals, SoCal Showdown, Gator Cup, which was just this weekend, you know, that's $200 just for your entrance fee. That doesn't include, you know, then you're having to travel to the venue. So you've got hotels, you know, gas, food, etc., etc. So I found over the last few years, you know, you can count on spending just going to one tournament probably at least $500, because you're looking at 2 or 3 nights in a hotel. You're out $200 just to enter the tournament. That's a USAT event. But even, like, I signed up for 4 tournaments Friday morning. 3 of them were $45. The Buckeye Classic was $200. I haven't even made my hotel reservations yet. And so I know that that's going to be, and even those little tournaments, for some reason, everybody's got to have a 2-day tournament. It's rare that you find just a 1-day tournament. Don't know why this is. I talked to somebody, said it's a similar setup over in Europe. I wish I knew what was behind that. But anyway, so yeah, you're looking at least, you know, 1 to 2 nights in a hotel. So there's another, you know, at least 200, 300, 400, 500, who knows how much. You know, unless you're sleeping in your car in a Walmart parking lot, you know, you're looking at hotel fees or Airbnb. So, yeah, those are the fees that you're looking at for that. I'm trying to think of any other things that you need to consider. You know, if you want to do archery, you don't have to do the tournaments. You're most likely going to run into the top three: the equipment, the target, and the range fees. But, you know, you don't have to spend a major amount of money. If you're lucky enough to live like up in Michigan, near West Michigan Archery, then you're set. Because you're local to their tournaments. But for the rest of them, I don't know how those elite athletes do it that have to go to all those USAT events. I don't know. Deep pockets, because they're probably spending, I don't know, $1,000 to go to each tournament, if not more. Yeah, and that quest to be in the top tier of athletes. So, yeah. Equipment, like I said there for a bit, you know, you can start out with, you know, cheaper equipment. Not cheap, but less expensive equipment. But once you start getting more experienced, you kind of hit a ceiling on what the equipment can do for you, and you do eventually end up moving up. The nice thing is, what's the saying that Jake Kaminsky always said? Pain once. I can't think of what it is. Yeah. So, you know, pay for some decent equipment after you bump up to the intermediate range, and then that equipment should last you for a long time. Because like my sight, I shouldn't need to replace it for a long time. My riser should be useful for a long time. I'm at the place where the limbs that I have are going to serve just fine for what I can do. So there is that consideration. Your equipment dollars spent are going to be more at the beginning. And once you get your setup, it shouldn't be as deep. Yeah, so the target, that's another place where you can end up spending a lot of money. I mean, the holy grail of target butts would be the, now it's flown my mind. But anyways, you see it at a lot of the ranges. It's really nice. I would love to have it, but it's big, it's heavy, and it costs quite a bit of money. I mean, over $1,000. My humble little target butt right there is probably, 5 years old. I cut it in half after the middle part started getting pass-throughs, so I could have the end parts be the middle part, and now even that part is getting shot up, but it's still doing the trick. So for what I need for short distance in my little backyard here, it does fine. But there was a period there at the beginning where I was experimenting. I was going through targets. I tried the bag kind. Let's see, first I tried those little square foam things, the white styrofoam. Yeah, you'll chew through those real quick. But I actually lassoed 4 of those together for my outdoor target that I shoot at the barn, and that's going on its 3rd summer. If I was really good, I would have shot out the middle of it by now, but then I could just rotate the corners. But for my needs, it's working. So yeah, you got to be creative. There are ways to keep the costs down, but yeah, the more you shoot, the more you're going to have to spend to have a decent target that lasts a while. So yeah, those are just some of the things that you need to consider for monetary expenses when you're starting out with archery or thinking of starting out with it. Yeah, there are ways to work with it. You just got to be creative. So anyways, peace out. Kayaking Archer here again. I thought of one more thing when it comes to money that you're spending on archery. And let's call that coaching. And that can be major bucks. I've had a few coaching sessions, $50 for 1 hour. Anywhere up to $150 or more for 1 hour. It can be either in person, virtual, just pre-made plans. None of it's inexpensive. It's all quality, but yeah. So that's why I think there are a lot of people who just do self-coaching or rely on the coaching that they get at the club when they're there for club sessions. So there's another thing that you can end up spending money on.